Office Hawkeye.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
All right, welcome into the Fitness Fanatics. It is Sunday, November 19th, and we're here live at our studios, 1040 O Street, coming off another disappointing game last night. But we're going to focus on things we can control today. So it's going to be a positive atmosphere, positive show today. We have two guests coming in. One, you guys might know, his name's Mark Onweiler, will be with us. And then also one of our members from the Meadow Lane Gym, AJ Leach, will be in here. Both of these two guys have completed their annual national challenge for Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. And they are both in the exact same competition that will be awarded $10,000 to one male and one female. Probably the first week in February is when I am anticipating those being announced. Judging for us will start here, at the beginning of January, I think maybe second week of January. So still finishing up. There's another round of participants that will be finishing here coming up in the middle of December, which we'll have two more finishers for Farrell's here in Lincoln. Hopefully we'll be getting those guys on here soon once they're finished. Kirsten and Kane will be on, or hopefully we'll have them on here probably at the end of the year. But so they're going to be on talking about their year-long transformation. Both of them were fantastic. It's kind of one of those things where I wish they were in separate judging.
I know.
Because they've both done just absolutely amazing. So we want to talk to them about their ups and downs, their motivations, because it's tough. We have a lot of people that don't finish a 10-week challenge, or some of you out there maybe have started an exercise program, a diet, a meal plan, new beginning, starting on Monday, and you can't even make it through one day. So we're going to talk to them about how they made it through a year and kept at it. So hopefully give you a good little boost for your Sunday. I'm doing to give a shout out to our sponsors, ILC. We are sponsored by Integrative Life Choices. They are now hiring direct support professionals all over the state of Nebraska, full-time, part-time days, evenings, and weekends. If you're interested, you can apply at ilc.net/careers. Direct support professionals work to ensure a meaningful life for the people they support. They work to support people in achieving their hopes and dreams. So appreciate their support of the Fitness Fanatics. So we do want to give a couple positive shout outs to Husker Athletics real quick.
Okay.
So we're going to be all positive today. So
girls soccer.
We'll leave football out of it.
Yeah.
And we'll focus on the other sports. So we know that the girls soccer team is playing in the Sweet 16 today at 1. I think I saw DP post that 1:00 is what do we call it? A kickoff, a tip off, a drop ball. Like what's the start of a soccer match, Harrison?
Oh man, you really, John. I know it's called the pitch. What do you call that?
I don't know.
I think it's just kickoff, right?
The kickoff.
That would make the most sense.
Well, you're the soccer player of the group.
Yeah.
What was it called back then?
I have no idea.
You were just on the
It's
bench.
not-
You didn't really know.
Yeah, it's not going to be a tip off or anything because you just get the ball.
Drop.
No
Do they-
clue.
Well, no, it's not like hockey where you drop it and you got two kids kicking each other in the
Ooh,
shins.
that would be interesting.
I have no
Yeah,
idea
no.
how a soccer game starts.
Just a coin toss maybe, and they throw it in. I think I've watched a few World Cup matches.
Yeah, don't they throw it in?
I think so. It's
I
like
have
a
no
coin flip, and then if you're
One guy gets it, then you just kind of start with the ball.
Yeah, if you're a soccer
Yeah.
nut out there, you can tell us how they start a soccer match. That would be awesome. 402-464-5685. So big shout out to them. We also have a volleyball match today. And so here's what'll be nice.
We'll
We
beat Iowa.
can watch a Nebraska team kick around an Iowa team. Like literally, we're undefeated. They're 0-17 in the Big Ten.
Say that one more time.
Yeah. Right? No.
Nebraska's undefeated. I think we're 26-0 right now.
Undefeated.
And
Fully
Iowa
undefeated.
is
Share of the trophy no matter what.
Iowa's 0-17 in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So you don't really
It's not
want
a volleyball school.
you don't really want to say there's for sure things in life.
Oh,
But
gosh. Way to go.
This is as close to a for sure win as you can get. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Oof.
Okay. So if you want to watch
Hopefully you didn't just
a team from Nebraska
jinx that.
kick around a team from Iowa or smash balls in their face, just whatever we're going to do to them today. I'm not sure I think it's probably like a 7, or I'm even not sure what time they tip off the volleyball match, but that is today. So if you want to turn our frowns upside down, definitely want to tune into that, which we will be doing. So Ben and I went to our first volleyball match last year. It was at home versus Iowa, and it was very nice.
Yeah.
So that's going on. The wrestling team, I believe they won their tournament that they were in over the past weekend. So they are pretty high ranked. I think they're number 2 in one of the rankings. So Coach Manning's wife, Carrie, is one of our instructors. So she's always just on me about getting out to a wrestling match. And so that's kind of one of my things that I want to get to this year. I'm kind of eyeing the Iowa match.
It's here?
Yeah, it's here. It's on a Friday night. I think it's at the end of week 1 of the 10-week challenge. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I would like to do. So we'll see if I can get to that. But I really like to go out there.
Men's basketball.
Oh my gosh, that was just
5-0.
Yep, 5-0 for the first
Did
time.
we watch the whole thing, or did you shut it off before it was over?
No, I had it on.
I knew it was on, but
At the Pentagon too.
it was kind of a
Sorry to cut you off.
runaway. But no, you're fine.
Have you guys ever been to the Pentagon?
We've been to the Pentagon in Washington D.C.
We have.
Yeah, I believe we saw it, or we ran by it, or
no, we didn't.
drove by it, or something. Maybe we didn't. I don't know.
No, we didn't.
But
It's just a very interesting building.
Kind of looked like a high school basketball court.
Yeah, it looked
it's
weird.
Really weird. It was built in 2013. I want to say
it looked like it was really old.
That's why it's
Right.
kind of strange.
Yeah.
Because I remember we played like a bunch of tournaments in there, and it's like, oh, the Pentagon. It's just
Wow.
it's massive, but it's in like interior wise, it's not like super.
No, it didn't look
fancy
like
by
that
any
at all.
means.
It looked
You just get
very
a ton
old
of games
school.
in there.
Huh.
Let me double check on when it was built, but I want to say it's new, and that's why it kind of looks weird.
I thought it was really old. It reminded me of like an old
Looked like we
high
were
school
watching
gymnasium.
the movie Hoosiers in the Hickory.
Yeah. Is it supposed to be vintagey looking? Because that was weird.
We
talked about that.
We had that game on, and then we had the Iowa football game on. So we were kind of watching both of them. So one was more pleasing to the eye than the other one. But no, it was good. So they're 5-0, and so things are rolling pretty much on all aspects of Husker athletics except
September 2013.
Wow, that's surprising.
We've been to a couple concerts. Well, I've been to one concert up there at the Denny Sanford place. We saw Garth Brooks, and then you've been to one up there. You've been to 2. You went and saw Thomas Rhett, right? So we've been up there to Sioux Falls and been in that area, but we've never been to the Pentagon. So
I didn't even know that's what it was called.
we could play all games at the Pentagon because they were shooting lights out yesterday. It was pretty awesome. Something else we had going on. We did go to a movie on Friday night.
Friday night movie. Like
probably,
real people.
Yes, it was probably our first movie we've gone to by ourselves since we can't even remember when the last time we went to a movie by ourselves was.
Like to the theater?
Yeah, to the theater. Yep.
Old school.
So I know Coach Bush has a
segment.
His bugaboo about
Bill's Thrills.
Yeah, theaters and tickets, and you just it's like
the thrill is gone because you buy your ticket ahead of time. And
it's an amazing segment if you haven't heard that.
Harrison, did you ever have to do that? Like if you had to go to a movie, you had to go early and wait in line, and then there was a chance that it was sold out by the time you got to the ticket window?
I mean,
probably not.
Trying to think. Yeah, the Simpsons movie. I remember.
Simpsons.
I was there. I was
waiting
like
in a line.
being with my dad, waiting in a line. It was packed.
This line outside
Sometimes
the door when
you
you
just
get there.
show up and it already says sold out over the movie you were going to go see.
Yeah. So I got a little bit of that for the most part,
Yeah.
though. Like, it wasn't so much that you get your tickets online, but there just wasn't that much of a demand up
Well,
in
that's true,
Yankton,
too.
South Dakota. So
I
it's
mean,
pretty
that's
easy to get.
true now, too,
Mhm.
here even.
Well, so we were sitting there and we got, we still get there 15 minutes early and get our popcorn and stuff that we're going to watch. And we went and saw the new Hunger Games prequel. So if you're a Hunger Games fan, we highly recommend seeing the movie because it was
good.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
You guys like those? The Hunger Games movies?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. It was very, very good. So if you haven't seen that, I would make a plan to go see it because it was unbelievable.
It was really good.
But we were kind of talking as people were coming in, like 7:05. It was a 6:45
It's
start
something
time.
that annoys me, and it's when people are not in their seats before the previews start. And I understand that it's a me thing. Like, I get it. I know some people on purpose wait and they don't get there, but
Well-
it just drives me nuts when people are walking in while the previews are going on. I'm a rule follower. So to me, it's like you have to be there when the lights are up and you should be in your seat when the lights go down. I don't know why.
Well, now,
I don't
years
know why it
ago-
annoys me so much.
Years ago, when you had to show up to the theater to get your tickets,
Yeah.
everybody was in their seats at the start because you had to get a seat. Like, you got there 20 minutes late, then
I'm sure that's part of why I feel like we have to be there early. Doesn't even like occur to me to not be there early. I don't particularly enjoy watching the previews. So then it annoys me even more when people are coming in and they missed it. And it's like, it's supposed to be this shared experience that nobody really likes.
and we had to watch it.
Right. But we all go through it together so we can watch the movie. And then other people that are just cheating the system, they're coming in or late. And
I think
it annoys me every time someone walks in.
Like I said, why don't we do this? Like,
I
why are we
couldn't.
sitting here
I couldn't do it.
for 25 minutes watching these previews? And we're just like, this does not look good at all.
Every movie, we're like, no.
Yeah, you would hate me. I'd walk right past
I know.
you during the previews.
It's not your fault. It's me. It's 100% me. I just could not do it.
We were like one of the first ones in the theater, too.
There were 2 people in the theater
Okay.
before we got there.
Yeah. So
And then some people right behind us, too.
Yeah.
But
So we stroll in there probably right close to 6:45. It's maybe like 6:42, 43. And there's 2 people in the theater. And here
I
we
can't
come
help
in.
it.
Bubba does say, Nicole, if you just show up late and walking in during previews, we would have all that shared experience of not having to watch the crappy previews.
I know.
If nobody
can't
ever
help
was
it.
there to watch the previews, there wouldn't be previews.
That's
And-
something
and
to
then-
think about.
Then we had to see, the head honcho of Marcus give his spiel.
Greg,
I'll be honest,
is
Greg-
that
Greg.
his name?
Greg,
Greg Marcus.
he'll be able to crack a smile from me from time to time. 'Cause I'm
The
like,
one-
you know you're cheesy, but you're still
The
going
holiday
for it.
one isn't very funny. It's not very funny, but
I think I was out getting a refill. And
you
kinda
probably,
missed it.
yeah, you did. You left during the previews, which also doesn't annoy me as much as people coming in late. And it's not late, and I'm not judging them. I'm more judging me for being annoyed that people are coming in late, even though it's not late.
And
I
is it-
recognize it's ridiculous.
is
I
it
can't
a-
help it.
Is it annoying when I look to my left and I can see somebody's socks like 2 seats down because this person's feet is up on the seat?
You put your feet up.
Okay, I don't put the okay. So when we go to Edgewood Theater, when we go and we try
right
to
by
get,
our
there's
house.
about 4 seats that we try to get, and they're kind of right behind the handicap seating, and there's railings there where we
Yeah,
can put
that's
our
clutch.
feet
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
on the railing. Well, Nicole feet can barely touch
I can
the
barely
railing,
touch because I'm short.
but I can put my feet up there. But I
Mhm.
don't put them over top of the railing, like my heels on top of everything.
And
So,
if there are people down there, I'm much more aware of it. If someone's in front of me, I'm more aware of that.
yeah, so
too.
I look over and probably maybe 2 or 3 seats down, I can just see this person's socks just in my peripheral vision.
Well, it's not like they're in your face.
Is that acceptable or not?
I think it's fine as long
Nah.
as you're not right
What about
next to
taking
them.
your shoes off so
Wow,
your
I'm
socks are in
keep
there?
your shoes on. I hate that. Like planes, theaters, like just keep them on.
Yeah.
This is not your house.
Yeah, your feet are gonna stink.
Then planes, trains, and automobiles, and John Candy's taking his shoes and
And his socks.
He's just whipping them. Oh wow! I
Keep
gotta
your
let
shoes on.
let these dogs breathe. Whoa!
No, that is pretty bad.
Well, I wore my flip flops.
I would hope.
my feet were exposed.
Yeah, but that's the difference between, like, say you're wearing shoes. Now they've been trapped. You're wearing socks. They get
Yeah.
all sweaty. If you're wearing sandals, they've been hanging out in the
Yeah,
air.
they've been.
It's when it's like when you
I
take
would-
off that shoe and all that stink comes out at once. That's
I
what.
would
So-
hope that people who take their shoes off have some self-awareness and they wouldn't take their shoes off if they were worried that their feet smell.
Chances are, if it's a lady taking her shoes off, they're not going to smell too bad. If it's a guy though, that's probably.
I don't know. I think you should keep your shoes on too.
But it's
honestly.
just kind of weird, like, oh, well, there's
I would
there's
never
somebody's
take my
socks
shoes
just
off in a movie theater.
6
I don't
feet
think.
away from me.
I always get frustrated in planes because you ever have people with like really long hair and they just constantly throw their hair like over your screen.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
I would say something.
Yeah.
They don't care.
You
surely
wouldn't
you-
say
I've had some-
anything.
I've had some pretty awful.
You would
plane
just complain to
experiences.
me the whole time.
If I was trying to watch something and somebody put their hair in
I've
front of the
never
TV
had that
screen,
happen.
I would say, "Excuse me."
That's why I don't like flying. I don't like being trapped in the air with strangers. I don't like
I
flying.
don't like flying either.
Right.
I'm not. a big
It's not the
person of flying.
flying part that scares me. It's the being stuck with other people that I
Yeah.
don't. It's a wild card. You
Mine can
never
get a
know.
little petty. I gotta do better on that. I'll never forget the one flight. I asked her politely if she could slide up because I think she was like 5'2",
Oh yeah. Mhm.
and I was like, I don't know what you're sliding
Right.
back
And you're
for.
tall. Like
Yeah, so I was like, and then she did, and then immediately just like waited like 5 seconds and then just hard soul dropped back. So then I was just like in a standoff. I was just like flexing my legs in front of it so that way like she couldn't push it back. And I probably did that for the rest of the,
The
flight
rest
for
of
like
the
an
flight.
hour. And I was like, got done. I was like, man, I
I'm
really
tired.
gotta work on my pettiness.
Right.
Like,
Then when your knees
That's
are flexed against, like, I know for me when I used to ride like in buses, long trips on buses, if I'd have my knees up against the seat,
mhm.
then my feet fall asleep.
That's
right?
exactly what happened.
so then your feet are all numb and you
I got
can't
up
feel.
to get the overhead
just
and
fall
I was,
down.
Like I was like, oh, give me a second. I had to sit down. Like I didn't drink enough
Although
water.
this
but
is kind of
That's
weird
what you
though.
take.
I do kind of like that feeling of
Jeff
when
makes
you're-
his like arm fall asleep on purpose.
when your feet are asleep and then I know this is just riveting radio. When your feet are asleep or your hands or something, and then all the blood just rushes to
I
your
don't
feet,
like
and
that
your
feeling
feet
at all.
feel so cold
You're
and
weird.
tingly.
People
it's just
make
kinda
his
weird.
foot fall asleep on purpose.
yeah, that's
So I can have
know.
that just experience.
That's
let me
weird.
put a question mark on the scouting report.
Yeah, I know it's a little different.
It's a little weird.
Well, also this week we'll change gears. We do have Thanksgiving this
I can't
Thursday.
believe that. I feel like, yes, it's cliche to say that, but holy moly, Thanksgiving already.
Do you think
Yes.
it's the weather that has to do with it? Because it's been beautiful out.
Well, it's gonna get cold.
Maybe.
We keep saying that. I've said that for.
It's-
I know.
I mean, it will, but man, we've been very fortunate. Feels
Next-
like that has to do with
Next
it.
Friday, I believe it's gonna be probably in the low
30s.
30s at kickoff
Yeah, it
with
gets
a
cold.
little snowflake on my Verizon weather app.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
don't
not
know. I
looking
just
forward
feel
to
like
that.
this fall, especially, has gone so fast. I can't believe it's November. I
Yeah.
mean, Thanksgiving already.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, then we have Black Friday. And speaking of Black Friday, if you have listened to the show, you do know we own a gym, 2 gyms, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping's here in Lincoln. We are doing a Black Friday sale that is actually live right now for all ticket listeners. So you can just go onto the ticketfm.com homepage. There is a banner. We've made it so easy for you. You just click on the banner. It takes you right to the enrollment screen. The promo code's up there, which is Black Friday. You can participate in the upcoming Winter Challenge, which our first day of classes will be January 8th for 50% off. So you're just looking at a couple $100. We also have it so easy that you can even make payments for this.
Mhm.
So you can get enrolled for $56 down
Mhm.
and then make 3 more payments of $56
Using Afterpay.
using Afterpay. So that's all right on there on the enrollment screen. So pretty awesome. So again, if you can't afford to do it all at once, you can take advantage of the Afterpay, $56, and your challenge will be paid for before the time you even start in January. So that's coming up too. We've already got I think we have like 15 or 16 people that have already enrolled for the upcoming challenge.
Mhm.
If you're wanting to do an earlier class, like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., you should not wait. So those classes will be sold out. So we have limited space at those times. But we also, if you're listening and you're not in the Lincoln area, we do offer a virtual option as well. So we have members that have been doing virtual with us since March of 2020.
Mhm.
So over 3 years, just every day. We have people that live in Lincoln that prefer to do it at home.
Mhm.
So it just fits their schedule. If you live out of town, let's say you live in Columbus, Beatrice, somewhere where you commute to Lincoln, and you don't want to go drive into the gym every day, you could do kind of a hybrid where you do come in. My recommendation is always to come into the gym for kickboxing days so you can punch, kick the bag. Then that way we can see you, check in on you, and then do your strength training from home.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 days in the gym, 3 days at home, and you're still going to get the same awesome results that Farrell's has been getting people for the last 20 years, 21 years, 22 years now going on. We've been in Lincoln since 2009. So 2024, I believe in the fall, will be our 15-year anniversary of Farrell's in Lincoln, Nebraska, which is pretty cool because
It's grown.
Gyms come, gyms go, which we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
A high percentage of gyms closed after COVID.
Mhm.
So just for the fact that Farrell's has been in Lincoln for 15 years is a testament to the program and a testament to the members, our instructors, our coaches, and our whole team at both of our gyms. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and then we'll be joined in studio by our two guests of the day, Mark Onweiler and AJ Leach. Both have had amazing transformations. I can't wait to dig into this with these two guys. So stay with us on 93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.
Join Planet Fitness now and get the PF Black Card for only $24.99 a month. You'll enjoy an upgraded experience with tons of perks.
Like access to more than 2,000 locations worldwide?
Yep.
And massage chairs?
Yes.
Can I bring a friend every time?
Sure.
Can my friend be a horse?
Nay. Sorry. Get the PF Black Card and feel fit-tacular. Only $24.99 a month. Our most popular membership, the PF Black Card, is your ticket to getting all the perks. Join today. See Club for details.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless of people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their lives. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-week challenge. Now is the best time to enroll during the Black Friday sale. You can join the January 10-week challenge for half price. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching for 50% off. Head to theticketfm.com and click on the banner on the homepage to enroll today. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics. We are joined in studio by two probably the most amazing transformations in Lincoln in the last year, in the nation, in the world. I don't care.
We'll find out
Soon to find out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the national challenge is happening everywhere, so we don't really know much of the competition besides what we have going on.
Yeah, we have I think Farrell's, we have 58, 59 locations across the country. So for those who aren't familiar with our national challenge, so we'd start with a 10-week challenge as the first kind of entry point to Farrell's joining our gym. And then once the 10 weeks are over, everybody that completes the 10 weeks has an opportunity to join the national challenge. So what the national challenge is, it's a 1-year challenge from the end of your 10 weeks for a year. And then we do a picture, and we do testing every 10 weeks, kind of keep track of where you are. And then we do a final picture at the end of your year. So 3 pictures and we posted these guys' pictures. We have initial picture at the end of your 10 weeks, and then your final year testing. And then how all the judging works is all of the owners, so Nicole and I will get 2 votes because we own 2 gyms. Now, we've never had a person in the top 5. So we don't really know how that works as far as if our votes are.
We probably won't be able to vote at some point if we have people in the finals, I'm guessing.
Now, I wonder if if one of these guys makes it to the final 3 referees, because we have 2 gyms represented. We have Meadow Lane and Yankee Ridge. So I wonder if Yankee Ridge is represented, but Meadow Lane isn't. So
is one of you designated to a gym? Jeff, are you Yankee Ridge and Nicole, you're Meadow Lane? No,
not really.
Okay.
No. I guess we'll see.
I guess we'll see. And I'll fight to the death to get a vote here at the end.
I'll have to ask Lance.
All right. Well, let's start with, so we have AJ Leach is in here and Mark Onweiler. We're going to start with AJ. So AJ, I believe you did your challenge in the summer is when you started, correct? The summer of 2022?
July. Yep.
Okay. So what made you decide to start Farrell's, and what was kind of that moment for you?
The main reason I started, I had a buddy who asked me if I wanted to join. He had said, Rob Worth, he asked if I wanted to join. He had done it before, maybe a year or 2 prior, and he had some success and enjoyed it. And he knew I've always been a bigger guy and have tried many times to lose weight. And so he knew I wanted to do that. So he asked me, and I was very reluctant at first, made a lot of excuses, but eventually convinced me to do it. So
it is kind of hard to talk a friend into doing Farrell's sometimes.
Yeah, hey, I think you might need to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was a secret. Yeah. I needed to get healthier.
Yeah.
Well,
I wanted
I'm sure
to get
he
healthier.
wanted to too, and he just wanted some, a friend with him, too. But it's a hard sell sometimes.
Right. Which,
6
that's
a.m.
a huge, holding each other accountable was huge. We would text each other, make sure we were there. And, that's a big part of it, having somebody there with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is kind of the key. Is if you're out there thinking about it, if it's something you want to do or anything you're wanting to do, doing it with a friend or an accountability
We
buddy.
both started with friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
program.
and that was huge for me because sometimes we don't want to do things for ourselves. But AJ, you're probably there are days where you might not have wanted to come, but Rob's like, okay, we're coming.
Yeah.
And
or
probably
you knew he was going
vice
to be
versa.
there, or you didn't want to be the one to be like, I'm not going to be there. So you just show up. Yeah.
Exactly.
Fine. Okay.
So you actually ended up winning your 10-week challenge. So you've been on this show before as a $1,000 winner. During the 10 weeks, what kind of things were you struggling with? I mean, if you could, this is a year ago, so now we're getting in the memory banks. So just kind of give us the ups and downs of just your 10-week challenge only journey.
I mean, I'd say there's probably 2 things. One is just getting out there and exercising. I mean, my body wasn't used to that at all. So the pains that go along with that, the struggling to learn. I don't think I'm very coordinated at all. So the first few weeks of classes, you just feel like you're moving. You're not even doing what you're supposed to be doing. But again, it's important to get there moving, and just your body's sore the next day. And just continuing to focus and needing to go. And again, that's where your friend there to hold you accountable really helps. And then food wise, exercise is one part of it. The food part's the other, and just completely changing how I ate. It was very dramatic for me. I used to eat out all the time, drink a bunch of Mountain Dew, Little Debbie's, fast food, just nonstop. And then once we learned about the calories and macros, really seeing, well, if I want to be successful, I need to do this. It was a game changer, but it took a while. Your body craves those things, but after a while, you get in the new routine and just kind of go from there.
Well, and I think I remember talking to you. I can't remember what week it was because we put everybody's, I call them mug shots, up in the gym. So with their name, so all of our fit members could be
Not the before picture.
Yeah,
Don't want to scare anybody. It's not like a bunch of half naked pictures of people.
No, yes, just
It's
your
just
face.
a headshot is what I call it.
Yes, so a headshot.
Like you're a model.
Yes, a headshot
Yeah.
with your name and class time. So
Just so you can get to know the people you're working out with and stuff.
yes, I remember. I can't remember at what point it was. If it was like week 5, 6, 7, where I like pulled you aside. I was like, look at this picture. Like, look at your face right
Yeah.
here, and you could visually see a change after 6 or 7 weeks. And I was like, this is like astounding. Just your face only, because most people, a lot of people, when they start it looks like, what were we?
I look like my before picture. I look like I've had an allergic reaction. That's what
Yeah.
Because I carry a lot of I have chubby cheeks. I just always have. So that's what I always look. Or I always say I was like 5 pounds away from not being able to see.
What did Brad say he looked like? He showed us his picture.
I don't
where
remember. That was just last
a
night.
round head,
Yeah.
and I can't remember what he said he looked like.
I can't either.
But it was just you're like, yeah, can that person see? But so it was just amazing, like to see just in how your face changed over the first few weeks just being there.
Now, when you did this, was there a point where you were thinking, maybe I can win this?
Yeah, I mean, when I started, I jokingly said it to Rob that I could probably win it, but I didn't really think I could.
Yeah.
But after the first few weeks, it just seemed like the weight was coming off really well. And I know, initially it's the water weight.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, I just set a goal of each week, let's do this. And it just kept happening and happening. And yeah, probably halfway through, I think I'd lost like 15 pounds. So I knew if I just kept down that journey, probably had a pretty good chance.
Cool.
And you'd said earlier how you weren't coordinated. You still aren't.
Very true. Very true.
Which is fine.
Yes.
Look,
yes.
you don't have to be. You don't have to look like Richard Simmons,
Every time you post videos from class every once in a while, I spot myself and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Look at that roundhouse
It
kick.
keeps you relatable. You don't have to be perfect to be successful.
So what challenge, or what was kind of the thought process on, okay, because not everybody signs up for this annual challenge. A lot of us are intimidated by doing something for 2 weeks, let alone 10. And statistically across all of Farrell's, 30% of the people that start the 10-week challenge do not finish. They stop coming. So a year challenge,
which is still pretty good.
Yeah, it's still pretty good
statistically, like gym stat wise, of people who start a program, start a workout, anything, to be continuing past that 10-week mark. That statistically is that's better than the normal statistics.
Yeah. So what made you decide to throw your hat in the ring to do this annual challenge?
I think there was probably 2 things. One was I still wasn't satisfied where I was at. I was a great improvement after that 10 weeks, but I knew I was still pretty unhealthy, still had a long way to go. So I wasn't done yet by any means. And then 2, just that accountability. I think the goal of that 10 weeks, I could see that's what drove me to continue to eat well, to exercise, and, just stay on course. Where I was afraid if that went away, who knows what would have happened. It could have just slowly regress back to where I was, or again, just maybe not improve. So I think having that goal in mind really helped. And throughout the year, again, without a goal in my mind, with many things in life, you're gonna get off course a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, things are members' mindsets change a little bit after the 10 weeks.
Sometimes for the better, and sometimes, like you said, it's a kind of a little bit of a regression where
Mhm.
you still come to class, but maybe the weekends go off the rails instead of like a meal or a day. So then the weekends are going off the rails. And then you start to come to class 3 days a week. And then it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday nutrition is going off the rails. And then
It's
sometimes it goes both ways. It can go backwards or forwards. But not everyone has a goal to like always be losing weight, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
So if you still feel good and feel strong, that's okay too. But that's definitely not the goal of the national challenge, especially if you, like you said, you weren't where you wanted. You knew this wasn't where you wanted to be yet, so you wanted to see what else you could do.
Yeah, it's there's a Casting Crown song that's slow fade.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it happens. It goes from a free meal to, like you said, a free rolling 24 hours. That's where it gets for me. Like,
Yeah.
we know we have a free day, but we tell people, hey, it's from sun up to sundown, not 9 p.m. Saturday night to 9 p.m. Sunday, a
Yeah.
rolling 24-hour free day.
In a weekend.
Yes, yes. So, any other challenges in the 10 weeks? Were you surprised that you were the $1,000 winner?
No, I wasn't surprised. I mean, just I could see the progress, and you commented on it how I changed, and even like at work or in my general life, people were they could see it right away. Like people asking if I was okay health wise, like they
Yeah.
thought I was losing it so quick. But yeah, not to sound too confident, but I thought I was doing pretty good in it. One of the challenges, it's probably more the national challenge was there's probably many weeks there or even months where I was probably not eating as many calories as I should have been. Like I thought I wanted to lose that weight super fast. And so I wasn't necessarily maybe following that calorie guidelines that you guys provided. And what ended up happening is I lost more muscle than I wanted to.
Yeah.
And looking back at it now, I definitely wish I would have ate more calories, tried to keep that muscle, lose the weight a little slower, and then I'd still have that muscle. Because now the problem is I'm trying to gain that muscle back, and that's not easy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll get into that and your macros and stuff because I know it was pretty eye-opening for you when you got with Matt, the nutrition authority, and we're like, okay, you need to up your calories by
Mhm.
thousands.
Yeah.
What thousands? Holy smokes.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we're going to throw it to break. When we come back, we'll talk about Mark's journey through the 10-week challenge and his decision to do the national challenge. So we'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless of people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their lives. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-week challenge. Now is the best time to enroll during the Black Friday sale. You can join the January 10-week challenge for half price. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching for 50% off. Head to theticketfm.com and click on the banner on the homepage to enroll today. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
Their age?
the way they speak. Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is "My job is people, everyone is my business." But unfortunately, in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jackomek, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Sunday morning. It's quiet. Not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Bure's Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics. We just got done hearing about AJ's 10-week transformation. He was a $1,000 winner. Our next guest was not a $1,000 winner.
I knew you were going to bring
so
that up.
mean.
I know.
That's so mean. I think he finished in the top 3.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
a very competitive group.
Yes.
Not that AJ's wasn't. It just always depends on what the group is. It's hard to, and judging, just so everyone knows, when we do our judging at Farrell's, it's not us making that decision. Our coaches and instructors make that decision. So like where Jeff was pointing out to AJ, wow, look at the changes. Like that's us just being impartial, and that's what we see. We don't make that decision. It's mostly with those instructors and coaches, like they're all of the instructors and coaches from both locations judge. So most of the time they don't know the people that they're judging unless they go to their class time. So it's pretty, and then if you are a coach at that class time and one of your people makes it to the top 3, then you can't judge. So we do keep it definitely fair.
AJ, did you have a male and a female winner in your session?
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I like to think if there had been a male and a female winner, because I lost to a woman. If there had been a male winner,
okay.
I would like to think I would have won.
Depending
So,
on the size of the group,
Yeah.
it depends on how big the session is, how many winners we have. So that also does play into it. Yes. Because sometimes
That's what I hold in my head as like, wow, okay, all right. Clearly I would have.
Well, and that's interesting because most women, when they start, think, well, I have no chance to beat guys.
Yeah.
But kind of historically, when we're doing one winner, a lot of the winners are females.
Yeah.
And so, because so they can see changes too, because they think,
Yeah.
well, gosh, I
it's
I
so
can't.
easy for guys to lose weight and,
and
but-
not change.
Yeah.
All right. So,
anyway,
Mark,
just a little background on that.
so most people that have listened to this show know how you got started. So you
Well,
were
it was on the show, basically.
on the show. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. And I like to think that, without you doing the 10-week challenge and documenting your story on air every week really was kind of launched our show. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think that we would be here. And I know you love to get your ego fed.
He does. He does.
But no, like that was really, really good to,
It
as
was
we
a good
built.
intro for us also.
Yeah. And it wasn't like for 2 hours, we just talked about your journey. It was like the first 30 minutes is what we did. So now we're not talking about your journey. We just talk about whatever, movies and sports and just random things that happen during the week. So it's kind of like our idle chit chat.
Yeah.
Here for our first segment. So,
or if Harrison and Jeff take over and talk about football for 25 minutes.
Which we talked about football for like 2 seconds today.
I know.
We're being positive on this show today. It's all about things we can control.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we can control.
I went to the gymnastics scrimmage yesterday. They looked great.
Oh,
they
cool.
looked great.
Very cool. Awesome.
That's my contribution to the positivity.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Back to Farrell.
So what was it that made you decide to start? You did the spring of 2022. So I know I had been pestering you and you've known about Farrell's for years as we've advertised on the ticket. I had emailed you once saying you could join the challenge. You just didn't even reply back.
Completely ignored you.
Yep. Yep. So what was it at that point? I know you talk about like being part of the show, but like, as far as your health journey, what was it you decided to start?
The show was a convenient excuse and a way for me to not take full accountability for what I needed to do, because it was like, I'm doing it for you guys, right? Like, it's not for me, it's for you.
That's literally, you're like, well, after the first show, well, I guess if you want someone to go through the program,
it'd be nice for the show.
I guess I'll do it.
You're welcome.
Literally, that was the conversation.
Yeah, it was. Well, that's because I have this need to deflect, right? Because if I admit to myself I have to do this, then like that's a real humbling thing, and I wasn't.
And it puts a lot of pressure on.
It does, and I wasn't in a mental place, I suppose, ready to do that. So that was the outward reason. I mean, I was 315 plus pounds or whatever I was. Like I needed help, and I'd gone through phases in my life where I'd lost weight and gained weight and lost weight and gained weight, and I would do that by running and drastically cutting my calories way down. And it would work for a while, and I'd lose 30, 40 pounds. And then I'd gain 50 back because I'd stop and hit one speed bump and it would all come back. But in the back of my head, I would always tell myself, well, you've done it before. At any point, you can just flip that switch and do it again. But it got to a point where I didn't think I could do it myself anymore. I couldn't go out and run. At 317 pounds, I wasn't able to go out and run more than a block. I just couldn't do it. So I didn't know how to start anymore. So that's where you guys coming in, that first episode was with Lance Farrell, and hearing him talk about his own personal life, the experiences he had, and the number of transformations that you guys hear locally in him across all of his locations that you've witnessed, it started to sound possible again. And that was exciting, just the idea of like, maybe it's not too late. Because before that, I mean, literally, I would look in the bathroom mirror and I would tell myself, I just have to accept that I'm an obese man, right? Like that's who I am for the rest of my life. The possibility for that to change, it might have passed me by.
How old are you? Were you?
I was 35.
Yeah, 35.
34.
Right. Yeah, 34.
Well, and that's so sad because there's a lot of people out there that look in the mirror and think this is I just can't do it.
It had gone too far. And I was starting to believe that. So this was my last, like, all right, we're gonna go all in on this one time and see if
for 10 weeks only.
Right, for 10 weeks.
For the show.
For the show. But I'm going to see if I can change that destiny a little bit. Just for one last shot.
This was your last
At
chance.
34.
This is it.
But I know what you mean.
If I was going to fail, like I think that would have been so deflating that would have been it.
Yeah.
The last chance to lose weight at age 34. This doesn't work. I didn't know we had so much pressure on us.
Yeah, good thing it worked out.
Oh, that was crazy. But no, both of you guys, like what you've done over your year challenge. We'll dig more into like numbers and stuff when we get to the top of the hour. But it's very inspiring. And when we would have you on frequently as a guest after you ditched us for Harrison.
Thanks, Harrison. I appreciate my Sunday mornings back.
Once I'm done, forget it. You're on. You guys are having this kid now who just doesn't show up for the first episode, but it'll be fine.
We can't give Harrison too much of a hard time. He doesn't have a mic today, so
He can't defend himself
No,
right now.
I know.
Perfect. Can you believe?
He can go outside.
We talked about that last show too.
But
we love Harrison as our producer.
When anytime you would come on to talk about upcoming challenges, and I didn't want people to think that Farrell's is the reason you guys both lost all this weight and changed your lives.
I said this for both of you. You both really made it look really easy over that 10 weeks and over the year. You made it was almost did feel like false advertising because you both made it look so easy, but all you were doing was following the program. So we know it's not easy, and you guys know it wasn't easy, but just following the program, you made it look really easy.
Yeah, the day-to-day work is hard, right? Like and you're right. I don't want to make it sound like it just melted right off.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah. We're not trying to be some infomercial scam.
But that being said, if you do what you're told, and that's what I loved about it, is I didn't have to think about it.
Yeah.
I just did what I was told. Both when it came to food and the workouts, like there was zero thought that I had to put into it.
Once you learned.
Once
right.
I learned.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes. Just like AJ said about the workouts, like, the first 2 weeks, you're going to feel like they're speaking a different language. You don't understand any of this
words.
Right. Like, what is happening? But after you get it down, then yes, you just do what you're told. It's a blueprint, and you just follow the blueprint.
Yeah. And I think I'm a little more coordinated than AJ. I don't know for certain, but the step, the punch and steps and everything, like it was just back to show choir for me, right? Like
Okay,
it was
sure.
It was super easy.
AJ, were you in show choir?
No.
See, that's the difference.
Yep. You got that. And did you play a musical instrument?
Nope.
So and Mark did too. So, so you got that,
There's some rhythm.
Yeah, you got a little rhythm.
It's white boy rhythm, but it's rhythm.
But to be fair, also, you guys are both pretty tall and kind of, long limbed.
Yes.
And that can be a challenge, especially if you have someone like me who is short with short limbs instructing. Everything's going to seem a little bit faster because I'm short. Yeah. So
I don't know how many times I've complained about on strength days the counts.
Yeah.
It just takes me longer.
I know.
It just takes me longer. There's more limb to move.
That's true. Crystal always gives me a hard time when I'm instructing and I do squats and stuff. I'm like, but I'm at the top. I'm done.
Crystal's a lot taller than you.
I know. I'm so
It's
short.
long legs. So for a squat for her, squat for you, it's going to be different.
In her class last week, I took her fit class and we had to do pop squats, which is like, it's kind of like a jump squat, but you touch the ground. And where they were for time, and I'm watching her and I'm watching me do them. I am in a below parallel squat to touch the ground because I have short legs and short arms. So like I am very low in my squat, and she's barely in a squat to touch the ground.
Reaches down.
Yes.
Go.
My butt is below my knees before I can touch the ground. That was funny. She's like, good, finally.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's part of the coordination. It's not just you, AJ, but
yep. And both of these
factors.
guys, before we get to break, both of these guys have been coaching. AJ coaches at 6 a.m. Gosh, this is probably like his third or fourth time now that he's coached. Mark's coach, I think this is your third time coaching,
something like that,
since you started. So it's a kind of a cool, like I call it the circle of Farrells. Is you start your 10 weeks, then a lot of people, when they're done and they continue, then you see new people come in, and then you can kind of casually help them. Like, as you were in that spot, they were 12 weeks ago. Then you look like kind of the expert, and then it's just an ongoing cycle. And every 10 weeks, as you guys have seen over the last year and a half that you've been with us, and Nicole and I have been doing this for so long, but it's still amazing to me that every 10 weeks we have new people that start that are trying to accomplish the same thing that you guys did. So it's just kind of cool how it never gets old for us because we spend 10 weeks learning people's stories and seeing their transformations. And sometimes we're part-time psychologists and trying to help them through their emotional things, like getting a grilled cheese sandwich versus a chicken sandwich. And those little types of things.
Little things. Those are big things.
That
we help
big
through. Yes.
Meltdown that Mark had when he was served a grilled cheese sandwich instead of grilled chicken sandwich during week 3.
So we see these transformations.
I
and
planned
then,
out my macros. Gosh dang it.
You just had to eat less later in the day to keep those.
Gary messaged in and said, "Way to go, Mark and AJ. Major inspiration to a lot of people out there. Keep on rocking."
Thanks, Gary.
Yeah.
Well, and what's kind of I don't know if ironic's the term, but the reason that Rob started back at Farrell's was because he was hearing about Mark's transformation on the ticket, which got AJ to start.
Oh gosh, just keep pumping up, Mark.
Which is but you know how
you
how
created a monster,
right? How terrible it's gonna be when I lose to AJ in the national challenge, knowing that I caused that.
You did
to get him in there.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
All right. Well, we're gonna go to break here. When we get back at the top of the hour, we're gonna talk the year-long transformation. And
also, if anybody has any questions,
if you
were
have
you
any,
going to say that?
Yeah, if you have any questions for either of these guys, you can text the show at 402-464-5685 on the Starter Heyman text line. You can also message us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. Which one am I missing? And YouTube, yes. Or you can watch us on television, Allo Channel 951. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner?
Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity,
not to make friends, but just to get something to eat?
Or a retiree who fell ill and had to
choose between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Introducing The Outlet by Starter Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Starter Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Starter Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at starterheyman.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Bure's Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to the Fitness Fanatics. Top of the hour 2 here. We're joined in studio by 2 of our national challenge contestants. Farrell's is going to be giving out $10,000 to 1 male and 1 female here at the beginning of February. And our hope is that one of you 2 win.
Maybe they'll be like, it's just too tough. We can't decide.
Just give them 2, give them each 10
Maybe.
grand.
Yeah.
I'd be all right with that.
Yeah.
Now, there's
no female winner this year. Just these 2.
Yeah, maybe.
There's now we do have a female that I
But
think
that's
will
true.
be obviously the thing with this is like we don't know what everybody else is doing across the country.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
All we can do is like look back at previous winners, and Nicole and I are part of the judging here every year. So we go through and we see changes and see the transformations. And so that's really all we can compare it to. But like when you have 50 some locations, and the Minnesota locations have just been tearing up these national challenge winners. I mean, it's just been ridiculous. So I am hoping that one of you 2 win for the men and Kirsten wins for the women.
Well, and we still have Kane to do his picture. And I know
he's another one.
Right. He's a little youngster and he didn't have as much weight to lose, but he wears pretty baggy clothes. So
you can't tell, right?
Yeah, you can't tell. He was doing some pull-ups last week after class. So
okay.
Yeah,
okay,
right. I know.
I
But
see how it is.
they're also on their honeymoon right now too.
Yes,
so
they are.
hopefully they're staying on track on their honeymoon. But because they did it together, they were engaged when they started.
Yeah.
And got married during their national challenge, and now they're on their honeymoon.
Little Farrell's love story.
Yeah, they were already together. Yeah, they were already together. But so I don't know. We'll see what Kane ends up. He didn't have so much weight to lose, but he's very
Is that
quiet.
it for competitors for this national challenge? The 4 of us.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
that'll be finishers.
Yep.
Yes. So who knows? And they do a poster that has the winner and then the top 5 finalists.
Mhm.
And Nicole and I we've never bought one. We're like, oh, I want to show like people in Lincoln.
Lincoln has had a national challenge winner a long time
yes.
ago, but that was before we were
I think
here.
2013.
Yeah.
maybe. So
Yes.
But so there's a poster that has, and I'll tell you both guys, tell you both this. We're gonna just use your images like you won't even believe. Like this. I mean, I think maybe the billboard up on Highway 2
Okay.
and Old Cheney, like, or maybe
Just
right
the after picture, right?
Maybe right. How about we put one right by Memorial Stadium
In Memorial Stadium.
inside on Husker Vision?
I think that's probably out of our budget.
Yeah, that probably is. Probably way out of our budget.
Yeah.
We're more maybe like on the at Seacrest, right? That's probably
Maybe.
where we could snap a photo. in
Maybe.
there. All right. Well, let's talk about the annual challenge, because I can tell you from the last 10 years that we've been owners and being able to judge, we talked about 30% of our challengers don't finish the 10 weeks.
Mhm.
I don't really know the percentage of national challenge finishers that don't finish the national challenge, but I know for a fact it's way higher.
It's higher, yeah. Yeah.
Because
Well,
usually,
and it's not even, like we have people that are still coming to Farrell's that did the national challenge and didn't finish.
Right.
It's not necessarily that they've given up on their health and
Yes,
fitness
they're
journey.
still
It's just
there.
right. It's just the year didn't go how they planned and they just don't finish technically.
Don't
But they're
submit.
still, right.
'Cause
They're
you think
still
about, like-
active and had a great
Yeah,
transformation.
you think about how hard 10 weeks is
Mhm.
to get 10 weeks through anything.
Yeah.
Versus a year. Like most people's 10-week challenge doesn't go how they wanted it to. They get sick, they get COVID, a death
Mhm.
in the family. They're just all kinds of stuff that is out of our control. And some people will fight through it, and some people are like, I'm not gonna come back.
Mhm.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Everybody's a little different. So the annual challenge is I mean, I think usually we'll see maybe 15 to 20
Finishers.
finishers
Yeah.
for male and female. And I believe females, there's usually more female finishers
Mhm.
than male finishers.
Well, there's just more.
right?
We have more female
Yes.
members too. So statistically, there's probably more that start also.
Yep. So now these guys are like,
Yeah.
now we're getting down to
Well, they've done the work. The work
Yes.
is done now. So
yeah.
I
Now
know.
it's just you got to wait and see.
Yeah, what I keep telling myself is those 20 men who finished though got to feel really good to actually
Yeah.
hit that submit button.
Right.
Like I felt
Just
good
like you did.
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means there's 19 others that also feel really good and think they're in that same position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about the last year. We'll start with you, Mark. Or well, not the last year, but we got from July or June to June.
June to June.
Mm-hmm.
So you started the annual challenge. At what point, like, it's hard to talk to you guys because you guys both did it look really easy.
I know.
And I'm just like, I'm trying to think, what did you struggle with? I'm like, I don't even know really, like, because there just wasn't any times in either of yours.
Yeah, because you do
testing.
your in-body, you do the testing, push-ups, sit-ups. You do that every session. And honestly, kind of our approach is as long as it's working, there's not a lot that you want to switch, change. Like if it's broke, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And both of you guys kept seeing just really great results. And so it was really like, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to mess with anything until we got down to the end, the last like 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that. But, so it wasn't always neither of you. I mean, beyond your week 3 meltdown about, grilled cheese sandwich, there was never those moments where either of you were like, I don't know what's happening. You just kept doing it.
So the question I have for you would be, the question just popped into my head. Now I'm like,
You got to get it out before you forget it.
What was that question?
Hurry up.
Yeah. So this is kind of an advice for people looking to start to or any type of journey, but like, what was it that we'll start with you, Mark, kept you going for the entire year?
Yeah. I think at least for me, and I'm going to assume for anybody that goes through this process, there's not a singular answer to that.
Yeah.
Because if it was one thing, that wouldn't have been enough. Early on, I told myself, my personal goal was I was tired of watching other people go through life and have experiences, and I wanted to start experiencing life again.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally wrote out a list. It was my get off the couch, get off the sideline list, and it was I want to get back into running. I wanted to do 5K, 10K, half marathon. I wanted to get a tattoo, which is something I'd wanted to do for a long time, but didn't feel confident with
Showing
how it
it.
would. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
How
where
it would
am
look
I
on my
going to
body.
put this?
Yeah.
And how am I going to show it to people?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I wanted to skydive, but
Mhm.
like there's a weight limit to
Mhm.
skydiving. You had to be under 220 pounds you had to be under 250. But if you were over 220, they charge you more. And I'm really cheap.
Immediately no.
Yeah, right.
That
Why am I paying more for this?
I
Is this
don't
a
like that.
higher risk
No.
of injury?
right.
here?
Yeah.
So
Oof.
yeah, 220.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd want to do that for a long time. Like that was always my goal when I would lose weight, like get under 220 so I can go skydive. And I never got there. I hadn't been 220 since
Before
freshman
you
year of college.
cared about
Yeah,
skydiving.
right. So it was things like that. And you know, my wife wanted to live an active lifestyle. So those things that were for me were kind of my outward goal, but I wanted to be a better husband, you know, and she wanted to hike. She wanted to camp. She wanted to live a certain way, kayak. And I just wasn't comfortable doing those things, you know. Camping was a very uncomfortable experience for me, being in this plastic tent,
Right.
you know, in a 90-degree. I hated it. Everything would just be sweaty.
We hate it too. We
Yeah.
camped one time and that was it.
Yeah.
Sold the tent. We're done.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like so it was things like that. Like I wanted to be better for her. I wanted to be a better dad to my daughter and be able to keep up with whatever she was doing, you know, not be the dad standing in the back. I wanted to be active with things. And then knowing that there was that $10,000 carrot at the end, my wife really wanted to go on a trip to Scotland. Like that had been a bucket list item for a long time, and I really wanted to give her that. So when nothing else was keeping me out of scrounging through the cabinets and finding junk food and things like that was the thing I would fall back like, no, hang on, you got to do this for her, right? You got to do this for her. So I think a lot of the listeners know she has since passed. She had a real short battle with cancer, and she passed away. So that was that. Those motivations change, right?
Yes.
And so then at the end, I was just so grateful, I suppose, that I had become a stronger person because she needed that as she was going through her cancer treatment. So then that became the motivation, right? Like I need to be strong for her in this fight. I need to be strong for my daughter because she needs me to be two parents now.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Well, and you knew from your battle with food that it could lead you back down a dark path.
Oh yeah.
You had talked about on a previous show about how you had kind of this dark like relationship with food, and that wasn't facing a crisis where you would eat a whole pizza on your way home from work and then still eat dinner with the family.
I order 3 pizzas but you only bring 2 home.
Right. Yeah.
Here I got our 2 pizzas for the family.
And that wasn't facing a
right.
crisis.
They would put the stickers on the orders, like box 1 of 4, box 2 of 4, and I would take those off.
Yeah.
So they didn't know I ordered 4 things. Right.
Yeah.
Like, weird that those fell off. All of them fell off all of the boxes.
Weird.
Super weird. They got to look into their adhesive guy. I don't know.
So you already kind of probably had that fear going into starting even the national challenge. You were at the end of your national challenge when her health issues started.
It was the last 10 weeks or so where kind of all started happening.
Yep.
And the whole thing, you know, with that being my background with food, we'd be at the hospital and I'd go get a cinnamon roll and then feel guilty for getting a cinnamon. Like there's so many mental challenges that still exist for me with food. And I expect that to exist for a long time. You know, every time I treat myself, having that battle of, is this worth it? Is this going to send me back down some weird spiral? Should I not? But I deserve indulgences, right? With life without indulgence, and just that back and forth, that constant angel and devil on the shoulder, like that's not going away. So learning how to manage that in a more healthy way and try to, I always call it eating like a normal person. Like I still want to learn how to eat like a normal person, and I'm still working on that. But
and I'm sure that goal hasn't changed for you. I'm sure if you win that $10,000, are you still planning on taking that trip?
Yeah. I don't know specifically where, but I'm going to Europe, and we're gonna honor that for her in some way if that happens. And honestly, even if I don't win the 10,000,
yes. Oh, you will.
we're gonna make that happen.
Do you need to bring a trainer with you on this trip?
I think that'd be important. Yeah. There's a lot of breweries and distilleries, and if we end up going to like Mediterranean, there's a lot of food there that I need someone to hold my hand through it all.
And I did think of my question.
Okay.
So throughout, and so AJ, you can think about answering. We'll get to your annual challenge here in the next segment. But what I think is what you guys both did was, it's not like you starved yourself for a year. It's not like you never ate a bad calorie. You never drank a bad calorie. Like you were still able to live your life and eat a good amount of food and have a free day, go out for pizza, go to a brewery, go on a trip, do those types of things, and not because people think, oh my gosh, if I'm going to lose 100 pounds, as both of you guys did lose over 100 pounds, like my life is over. I can't have any fun.
Yeah.
This is just like all I can eat is carrots and spinach and chicken, and that's it. But that's not the case, right?
Well, that's one of the nice things about how long the challenge is you don't have to eat it all off in one day. And I know you, AJ, you kind of talked about how it is tempting to go down that path. But for me, that did open the door a little bit for, if I'm on vacation, I can enjoy that vacation. If it's a holiday, I can enjoy that holiday without going off the deep end. And then knowing, okay, come Monday or come whenever I get back, it's right back to it. And I'll deal with whatever those consequences are. The scale's going to say I'm 3 pounds heavier than I was, and I'm not going to let that affect my psyche because I already know how to get that back off. And just understanding it's a superficial sort of thing anyway.
Temporary.
Right.
And I think sometimes you get into that mindset, like where AJ, where you were talking about how when you start your both of you, when you start your 10 weeks, you're trying to figure out the nutrition and you're out of shape. Like you're really bad. You're out of shape. You're super sore. But as you continue this journey, because you both had vacations, AJ, you had a vacation pretty close to the end of about 3/4 of the way in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
You went on vacation. Matt had kind of shared with us how you just like gained a ridiculous amount of weight on vacation, but the next week it was all off again. Like he was like, I have never seen anything like this before. He showed me the spike and then right back down. But that's because it's easy to get into that mindset of eating and thinking that old you is going to think that all those struggles are going to come back immediately. But the reality is you're eating like you used to eat, whatever, that's for temporary. And then you, like you said, you just get right back on. You're not starting from that 300-pound person.
Right.
You're still coming back. You're in a much better place where your body knows how to handle that. You're not digging in a hole. You just like kind of backtracked a little bit. You got a little off track, but you're not starting at the bottom.
That's where developing and changing habits and doing things the right way over a long period of time. You're not going to undo everything on a vacation.
No.
Like you're not just going to be 300 pounds because you went on vacation. Right.
But our mind will trick us into thinking that sometimes if you stop exercising first, then you go on vacation, then you gain some weight from vacation. And then you're just like, I just don't think I can exercise. So then you start to eat 1,000 calories a day to try to get back to that number. And it's just a mind game that you play with yourself that year is really what helps you hopefully overcome some of those mind games over that year.
So before we go to break, I just want to give out Mark's stats for his national challenge. So this is about a year and 10 weeks. Okay. So Mark lost 140 pounds. Body fat percentage went from 39.9 to 6%, and you lost 68 inches, increased your push-ups by 55 and your sit-ups by 41. And so that's awesome.
Thank you.
And we're going to get to like, because some people will be like, oh, well, Mark's 6% and AJ's 6%. That's just unrealistic.
Right.
So we'll get into that later in this hour.
I don't think either of them are sitting at that percentage
now.
No.
So we'll
which is
talk,
fine.
Yes, we'll talk about the end of the annual challenge and kind of how their nutrition changed, and because you want to those last few weeks you really want to get as lean as you can, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want people, they're just starving themselves for 4 weeks. No, that's not what happened.
No.
So we'll get into that, but we're going to take a break and we'll come back and we'll talk about AJ's national challenge journey when we come back. 93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
I'm Christy. I used to smoke cigarettes. I had smoker's cough and severe shortness of breath, and I knew I had to quit. Then I tried e-cigarettes. but I just ended up using both. I really didn't start to get better until I quit smoking completely. My tip to you is just cutting down on the number of cigarettes you smoke isn't enough.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is how we do every day. We be grinding, and if you want to come and test us.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
This is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless of people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their lives. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-week challenge. Now is the best time to enroll during the Black Friday sale. You can join the January 10-week challenge for half price. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching for 50% off. Head to theticketfm.com and click on the banner on the homepage to enroll today. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in here. Before, I don't want to forget, so I want to give everybody's AJ stats here because I have a feeling I'll forget. So I want to do it right while it's on top of my mind. So AJ lost 103 pounds. He went from 38.3% body fat to 7.5, lost 58.25 inches, increased push-ups by 28 and sit-ups by 28. So that is just, fantastic.
And
so,
the push-ups and sit-ups, it's still only a minute over the whole year.
Yeah.
So you really kind of run out of time, I think.
Especially for sit-ups.
Yeah.
You run out of time.
You're just I could keep going, but it's been a minute. So,
yeah, I'm out,
and those are still really great numbers, but
yes.
that minute it's always just 1 minute of push-ups and
yeah,
sit-ups.
there's a limit.
Yeah. Yes. There's only so much you can improve at some point.
Yeah.
And still be doing them well.
All right. So AJ, what I want to focus with you about is you were you were losing weight so quick. Like I think even by probably by the end of your third 10 weeks in the year challenge, you were already lost 100 pounds. And we were looking at you like, okay, you have nothing else to, I mean, literally we'd have to start taking organs out
Yeah.
and just cutting
Right.
muscle off of your legs for you to lose any more weight. So you went and saw Matt out at Nutrition Authority, and he kind of gave you like a shocker for calorie intake. So kind of go through that process of your meeting with him and what your calories got up to, and your whole mental, trying to deal with that mentally going from there.
Sure. Yeah. So, just some quick background. Like
Yes.
on the first 10 weeks, the actual challenge, I didn't lose very much muscle. You know, I lost a lot of weight pretty quick. I think roughly 30 pounds in the first 10 weeks, but my muscle was good. And then those next 20 weeks or so, the weight kept coming off good. But then my muscle, I lost quite a bit of muscle, maybe like 15 pounds of skeletal muscle mass, it seems like. And I touched on it earlier. I was probably eating fewer calories than I should have been, you know, trying to lose weight too quickly. So I got to my lowest around March, which was, 9 months after we started it.
Yeah.
And then after talking to Matt, it was all about, we need to start working on muscle. And so where I was eating,
sometimes, I mean, when you lose 100 pounds, muscle loss is going to happen. Like if you think about just you're carrying around 100 pounds, you're carrying around 250-pound dumbbells, and then for all the time, and then you put those down and you start walking, whatever, your body doesn't need as much muscle because you're carrying a smaller version of yourself. I think so many times people think that or just underestimate how much strength people have when they're overweight because you're carrying so much weight. So when most of the time when people are overweight or have excess body fat, they also have a lot of muscle mass because it just takes a lot of muscle to keep your body moving. So losing muscle isn't always a concern. When it becomes a concern is when you're losing muscle paired with drastic calorie reduction, and so I think that's what we knew. Okay, now Matt was like, okay, well, now we need to start we need to stop this, and we need to, try to take this the other way.
And one other thing that's kind of weird to think about, like when I say I was losing muscle, I was getting stronger. I could still lift more. I was increasing bands, double banding. So even though you're losing muscle, you're getting stronger.
That's a great point, because a lot of times at week 5, when people do their in-body, and we tell people it's okay if you lose muscle as long as you're also losing body fat, or you're not gaining weight, losing muscle, gaining body fat. Those are all kind of red flags. But then if someone doesn't gain muscle or they lose a couple pounds of muscle, they're like, but I feel so much stronger. I'm like, that has nothing to do with it. Your muscle mass, your actual muscle mass, doesn't necessarily have to do with like the strength of your body. So yeah, that's a really good point. It's not like you were wasting away and struggling through your workouts, regressing through your workouts. You were still seeing progress in your workouts, which is a great marker and a great way to judge how you're feeling. You're probably still seeing definition because you're still losing fat. You're revealing those muscles. So yeah, that's also a really good point.
So what was the calorie bump that you went from and went to, and then how did you kind of deal with that?
Just ate more food.
Yes. So at the lowest, I think I was advised to eat like 2,300 calories. I was probably, in actuality, again, I shouldn't have been, but probably like 2,000 calories a day. And then Matt, we slowly did it, but I eventually got up to over 3,000 calories a day of eating. But again, your body, you don't want to immediately start going from 2,000 to 3,000 because your body's not going to like that at all.
No.
So we increased the carbs. Every week he would increase the macros, a little carbs here, a little fats here. So I eventually got up to 3,000 calories a day.
And that was like the last 10 weeks ish, or a little bit longer?
Up until the last 10 weeks. And then with maybe 5 weeks to go, we started cutting back a little bit more
that's
to get more defined, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is crazy. You had to eat more
to
get into that after picture. The after picture was you eating more. I mean, yes and no, because you did definitely do a cut a little bit at the end, but that's to be expected as a challenge. But
and you touched on it earlier, like the vacation when we went to Mexico, all-inclusive resort for about a whole week. And I think I was probably up like 17 or 18 pounds.
Yeah. It was a lot.
But mentally, it's all mentally, like you have to realize I didn't gain what's 3,500 times 18 pounds is that many calories. I didn't eat that much more. So it came off pretty quick. And that's something I would suggest to everybody. Like if you have a bad weigh-in, like you know what you've done the weeks before, you know how hard you're working, you know what you're eating. Your body can fluctuate here and there. You know, it's water weight. So don't get discouraged. Just keep working at it. Trust the process. It'll eventually.
And you got back from vacation and you got right back on track too, you know, because I think that's sometimes hard. You come back and you're still a little bit in vacation mode sometimes. So then after your next weigh-in, where were you back? Like how much weight did you lose in that?
I think probably like 15 or 16 pounds, but the majority of it.
Well, because
I remember Matt being like, this was incredible.
Well, you don't actually, it's like when people weigh themselves on a Monday. You don't actually gain 7 pounds
and
of fat
traveling
on a weekend.
Flying is huge. That will throw off your body composition. So you were probably a ton of water weight and just, you know, lots of your muscles were just filled with all that glycogen from the carbs and alcohol and stuff like that. So you just got right back on track and your body knew what to do. You weren't throwing it. You threw it a curveball, but then the next you just went right back to what you knew you needed to do.
Yeah, so
which also, sorry,
go ahead.
You were also eating 3,000 calories up to that. So realistically, if your body was already used to eat 3,000 calories, how much more above that were you really eating? You know what I mean? A lot, yes.
Not
but
eating, maybe drinking.
A lot of sugary, delicious drinks.
Right.
Yes.
But at the same time, because you had started from such a good place where your body was used to consuming 3,000 calories, and then maybe you bumped it up to 5,000 calories a day on vacation, you weren't going from 1,800 calories to 5,000 calories and just really throwing your whole body out of whack. So you were putting yourself in a much better position to have that vacation, enjoy it, and be able to get right back on track.
And I think it's also interesting, like everybody's body's different. You know, I was putting my body through certain things. Like my friends on that same vacation, they ate and drank similar amounts to me. And we would talk the next day. And I was like, I gained 6 pounds yesterday. And they're like, I gained 1 pound.
Yeah.
So their body, I guess, was more, my body didn't like that change. Or again, everybody's is different. So don't always compare yourself to others. Just kind of know your own journey, I guess.
That's very true. Even just talking, even with both of you and your journeys, you know, it's just, you do have to, there's more than just that calories and the workouts in play. There's genetics and where you started from and your history. How were you active at all, AJ? I can't remember, like before you started Farrell's.
Not at all. No.
Yeah. So you hadn't had that journey where you had like lost weight through exercise, gained it back, lost it, gained it back. You know, you were just kind of on that slow, you know, upward kind of trend. So that all plays into it. So it really is you versus you during that time in your 10 weeks and in the year. You can't get hung up on what other people are doing because that can sabotage you sometimes.
Didn't you say you had lost a little bit of weight before you started Farrell's? Like, what were you at your heaviest, if you remember?
I think the heaviest actually on a scale, I probably saw like 290. But I would venture to guess I was probably a little more than that at some point.
So that's 30 pounds
we stop
heavier.
Weighing ourselves at some point when we don't want to know what it says.
I don't. It doesn't matter. Get rid of it. Well, they say don't weigh yourself. So I'm just not weighing myself.
But again, I didn't really exercise a lot. Mine was I would lose that probably just from cutting back on calories. Like I know for a few times, like a year at a time, I could quit pop. Pop was the major thing for me. So I would just quit drinking pop. And like 20 pounds would come off, but or restrict calories a lot more. But exercise really wasn't in part of my regime much.
So how did you break that cycle with pop then? Because I know that's probably very relatable for a lot of people.
A lot, yes.
Yeah, soda. Well, the one thing I did, like the 3 days before the challenge started on July 11th, I just made sure I enjoyed that Mountain Dew. Like, I'm like, I'm gonna have my last hurrah, which many of us probably do.
Yeah.
You know,
oh gosh.
Before you start a journey, have a go for it. You know, that's going to help
your last meal.
Yeah. Yes.
Before you start.
So chugged a bunch of Mountain Dew, but I didn't I know a lot of people have that sugar craving and whatnot. For me, it was just, I knew how bad Mountain Dew was for you. I mean, it's sad that I knew how bad it was, but I would still drink 10 cans a day before that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's addictive, right?
That's how we all are.
Yeah.
We know things are bad for us, but we just do it anyway.
Yeah. So did you go to cold turkey?
Yep. I completely stopped. And then I started just with water. And then, you know, I would throw in there like little Crystal Light packages for 5 calories. So stuff that still tasted, I enjoyed the taste of it. So just find that alternative that you still enjoy. That obviously is a lot healthier for
Were you still doing some like caffeine? Like, because I know some people will drink pop for the caffeine and the
Especially Mountain Dew.
yeah. So did you like just go cold turkey? Like you're just drinking 10 Mountain Dews and then all of a sudden you just go to no caffeine?
I did. No caffeine, no coffee. I'm not a big in my body. I know people always ask me that, like if I went through
Withdrawal.
but
Yeah.
no, not really. I don't know if it was just my body with the exercise was helping and everything, but
Wow.
no huge shock to my system that I felt.
I did stop cold turkey once. No caffeine when I thought I had failing of kidneys. Like I was drinking a Monster going into the doctor, and he was like,
That's
"These are the
probably why
highest levels I've ever seen. You
Yeah.
need to stop drinking caffeine right now." So I did. Like just, and then it ended up being like a misreading. So when I go back the next time, the doctor's like, "I got more protein in my kidneys than you do. You're good."
Yeah.
So what do I do? Go right back to drinking caffeine. I'm like, yeah, like so you just know it's bad for you, but
Yeah.
you just Nicole and I was like, it's our future selves problem. We'll
No,
do it.
well, but Mountain Dew is totally different. Like right now you drink coffee, so it's not like you're drinking the sugar.
And
the
and
caffeine.
Amon Green did say that Mountain Dew is one of the worst things you can drink.
That's you and Amon Green have something in common. He's not a big caffeine drinker
He
either.
doesn't do any
he doesn't
caffeine
drink
either.
caffeine either.
I'm gonna remember that
Yep.
quote. Yep.
Yep. I know. You should.
You and Amon Green.
Yep.
Same guy. Basically the
Practically
same
the
guy.
same. Yeah, that's
Yes.
awesome.
All right. Well, let's take
Yeah.
one more question. Do you remember? So you upped your calories. You're up over 3,000. Like I don't remember you weighing much less than 157, which is what you finished. So in the last 10 weeks, you just basically like kind of. I mean, how low did you get? Like before you started adding muscle? Because I just don't remember your last couple body comps that we did. Like if you gained 15 pounds. I mean, I just don't remember you being lighter than 157.
Yeah. Like I said, like in March, I was about 163, I think. And from March until the end in September, besides the Mexico trip where I
Right.
went over 180,
Yeah.
I was always below 172. Like, so between 163, 172, just fluctuate a pound here and there. So.
And that's upping calories, eating over 3,000 calories, and so you can eat a lot of calories as long as they're the right calories. Because I'm sure Matt wasn't like, okay, we need you to get to 3,000 calories. So you just go to Culver's
Right.
and you get a triple cheeseburger and a concrete mixer. And those are your
Then
3,000.
you're done for the day.
You're done. Yep.
Yeah.
You hit the calorie number. So it's not all about calories in, calories out. I mean, it is a little bit.
But you were focusing on those macros where you were
Yes.
increasing carbs.
Yes.
Increasing fat, stuff like that. So there's definitely the quality has to be there.
Yes. Like
And even one thing I ran into, like carbs, I would get it from like Reese's Pieces and thinking I was still good.
And you
and
were.
then
You
Matt
still lost
immediately was
weight.
like, sugar. Like the sugar is
Yes.
not good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even the macros, carbs, fats, proteins, don't forget about sugar.
Yeah.
Because but
But it worked
It's
for
just
you for so
taking-
long because
Yeah.
you were and when
But it takes the place of a healthier carb that can help your
Yeah.
body do more, be
and
more efficient.
we don't give meal plans like we don't make them so difficult where you're like, okay, I need to track 100 different things.
Yeah.
How much potassium am I getting? How much sodium am I intaking? We don't want it to make it so difficult for our members because it's already difficult enough to figure out what a carb is. And some people are like, they don't know what's a
Yes.
protein.
Right.
Well, so you're going from not being active and just eating whatever you want to working out 6 days a week and now figuring out, oh my gosh, I'm putting this in my body. So we try not to make it too difficult tracking all that. So where you were just like, okay, Jeff and Nicole said I need to have 210 carbs a day. So I got my Reese's Pieces and you're logging all
Good
this
for you
stuff.
because
Good.
I wouldn't be able to stop. Like you were still portion controlling
Right.
because I can't portion control some of that.
But
stuff.
that got you
Yeah.
through. That was kind of your
Right.
your reward, right? Like, so I have a little handful of Reese's Pieces that you're eating
Logging.
and you're logging and you're still losing weight. That gets back to what we talked with Mark about. You didn't have to just ruin your whole life and just basically like I said, we're only eating vegetables.
Besides the soda, because that was probably a good call, cutting that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I know.
that's what
That's
I mean
hard to
about,
fit in.
about you don't have to just most people think when they start a fitness journey that their life is over.
They have to throw out everything in their pantry and their fridge and start from scratch.
Go through one of our favorite episodes of Roseanne is when they decided to go on a diet and they're just rummaging through the cupboards. He's like, we're not throwing $200 worth of groceries away. It's like they just it starts today. So we kind of get that misconception that that's what we have to do. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with these guys, finish up here on this Sunday's edition of the Fitness Fanatics, 93.7 The Ticket.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Beep, beep, beep.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Only thing we should be talking about right now is turnovers. So what if we lose? We don't do anything else. Let's not turn the ball over. Let's see what happens if we play a clean game.
You asked earlier, how many games have they lost by 3? And it's 3 of them. And they've had 12 turnovers in those 3 games. They're minus 7 in those 3 games in the turnover department.
So that's what I mean. Turnovers, you control those. If we can control that, you can get to 6 wins and maybe set yourself up for an exciting Black Friday game against the Iowa no-offense Hawkeyes.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Celebrate Thanksgiving this year with Venue Restaurant and Lounge and Venue at Home with our Thanksgiving to-go meal packages. Our packages include sliced turkey breasts and roasted gravy, herb stuffing, Yukon Gold mashed potatoes, a harvest salad, and more, with add-on options to upgrade your feast, including smoked ham, prime rib, sides, appetizers, and desserts. You choose delivery right to your home or pick up at our Venue at Home storefront. Order today at holidaysbyvenue.net. That's holidaysbyvenue.net.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back here. Final segment with these two guys. Amazing transformations. Both of them lost over 100 pounds in their annual challenge with Farrell's. We will find out here first week of February. I'm hoping we get a winner, and I'm hoping we get...
Okay, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. You're saying too many words now.
All right, I'm done.
Okay. Thank you.
So what we want to talk about kind of the last couple weeks of this challenge.
Full transparency.
Yes.
Because, you watch shows, you see people's transformations, you see after pictures for people, not so much the 10 weeks, but for this national challenge, you guys did have to dial in and change up your nutrition a little bit the last couple weeks prior to that picture. So what did that look like for you guys?
You can start because I was going to find the text from Matt because I don't really remember the exact.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know the exact details either, but yeah, when I was up there eating 3,000 calories a day, when we got with like 5-6 weeks to go, we definitely started toning that down, and then focusing more on, like, for a while there, not eating as many carbs, carb up, carb down. That was more of the week before.
Yeah.
And again, to Nicole's point, like, you're trying to get yourself set for one specific day, like a picture.
Yes.
But that's not what the whole challenge. It wasn't like that for 12 months at all. It was, a tough few days where we're really, really strict. And the few weeks before we cut down and we're a little more strict. But again, in general, over a year span, it wasn't anything like that.
Yeah. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, so for me, like I'd been kind of coasting at 192 pounds or so, like just kind of staying there, no matter really what we did to nutrition. I was sitting at 192 pounds, and like Jeff said, I finished at 177.
Yeah.
That last 15 came off in that last week.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I found what Matt had me do. It was four meals a day, 5 ounces of chicken, broccoli, and 15 almonds.
4 times a day.
4 times a day, that exact meal.
Right.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
Oh, and like a protein shake at some point.
Not 14 almonds.
Nope. 15
Right.
almonds.
15 almonds.
5 ounces of chicken and some broccoli. That plus 150 ounces of water on all those days. Up until like 2 days before. Then that became only 20 ounces of water.
Yep.
And 300 carbs per day.
That's a lot.
Yep. That had to come from rice, sweet potato, cream of wheat, blueberries, or bananas.
Yeah, because we wanted to get those muscles filled up for the picture.
Yeah.
And then still the chicken.
Yeah.
So those last couple of days, it was trying to pump it back up a little bit, depleting for the week before, and then right before pumping it back up. And I don't know how much pump I got. But
You're both pretty lean. Like neither of you are very bulky anyway. So
no, right.
But that was just at the very end. And I think what's important to note too now, because you guys are weeks and months away from that final picture. So like, where are you guys at now? Like body composition wise?
Yeah. So I finished at 6%. I think I'm in the 12 to 13% body fat now, which I'm very happy with.
Yeah.
Like I'm totally cool with that. I think I could drop a few pounds, but other than that,
right.
We always all think that at all times. So
we talked about that a little bit too. I talked about that to both of you because it was like, so where do you have a danger zone in your mind where you're like, okay, if I start to see this number, then I know I need to pull back or whatever. So what's kind of that for you?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm similar. I'm about 12 or 13% body fat now. I just went on Friday and weighed. And again, I'm very happy with that. Like,
and you're trying to still
mindset-wise,
gain muscle. Like you're still doing some stuff.
So yeah, and I'm not seeing gaining muscle's hard. I mean, I think we all probably know that. So
no, a lot of people don't know that because they think that they're gonna, if I ask them to use a blue band, that they're just gonna immediately gain muscle, and you have to try real hard for a long time to gain muscle. You don't accidentally just gain a
Or
bunch
they're
of
going to
muscle.
be bodybuilders
Right.
after two bands classes.
Because we're asking them to eat, 1,800 calories. That's for women, but yeah.
So what was the actual question? I forgot.
Do you
Sorry.
have like a danger
Oh, yeah.
zone? Yeah.
For me, it's more, I mean, I know the calories that are going in. I'm tracking those. I know if I stay within a certain range, plus or minus 100, I'll probably gain this many pounds a week. Like I know the
you're
numbers. I've
very
done
analytical.
Right. I know the numbers. So I'm very happy with where I'm at now. I guess if it just continues to uptick in every week, I mean, I want to eventually probably be 170, 175. So I'm still not there. I'm trying to gain weight. Ideally, I'd gain muscle and not just fat. Right now, it seems to be just fat. But again, we'll get there.
And you're keeping track. You're still going in. You're still keeping track of your body comp. You're still making changes, to kind of see where you're at. You're not just like, well, let's just see what happens. I don't know.
Right.
I have no control over this.
Yeah. And I've heard Jeff say this to this 10-week class. I remember he got us all together and talked to him. If you're not tracking your food, you really can't say, like, if in 5 weeks, whether you gained 10 pounds or lost whatever, you can't really say anything about it if you don't know those specifics on what you ate. It's really hard to say. I mean, you think you can say, oh, I ate 2,000 calories, but unless you track it, it's really hard to know.
Yeah, that's
yes,
true.
and we were telling our members, and we always tell them, if we can't help you if we don't know what you're eating.
Yeah.
So we've had some people where they've done their 5-week testing and they weren't really happy with the results, and they've been logging their food.
Then we
So
can
now
look at it.
We can look at it and be like, okay, let's adjust your calories, carbs, protein. Let's do this again in 2 weeks. See how your body adjusts.
Mhm.
And it's always been successful.
Yeah.
Because our meal plan isn't the end all be all in the history of the world. Like there's so many different meal plans you can eat that work and that are effective for all different types of bodies. But hopefully if our members are listening, if we don't know, we cannot help make adjustments.
If they don't know,
If
they can't
don't
make
know,
adjustments.
Right.
You're not ever accidentally going to hit your protein goals. I can guarantee you nobody's accidentally eating enough protein if you're exercising. It's a struggle. So real quick, what are besides that, because that's really good advice. Do you guys have any other advice for people in a, weight loss journey or a body change journey transformation?
I mean, you guys say it all the time. Trust the process. Whatever process you're doing, it's not going to happen in a week.
Mhm.
Whatever. And it's kind of like you just said with the food. If you got to give it time, you got to give everything a chance, and that's not going to be an overnight fix. It's going to take time. I recently put together a 12-month little collage of me taking progress pictures in my bathroom mirror. So seeing that change over 12 months because I was doing the persistent work, not doing anything major, just doing what I was asked to do. So that's my biggest advice to anybody who's starting is just give it a chance. Just put all the negative thoughts away because they're going to try and creep in, and just give this a chance to work.
Good. EJ?
Yeah, I would say it's similar. Trust the process. It's a long journey. There's going to be ups and downs. Don't get discouraged. And just, looking back, if you could have said a year ago, if I would have walked an extra mile a day and ate 100 calories less, what would that have translated? A year later, you'd be 10 pounds less, numbers wise. Again, to me, a lot of it's calories in, calories in. I know it's a lot more complicated than that, but if you could lose 100 calories by exercising a day and eat 100 calories less a day, in the long term, that's going to have a huge impact on what you're trying to do. So keep it simple. It doesn't always have to be drastic and quick, and it all adds up.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Well, hey, thank you
Awesome.
guys for coming in. I just can't wait to see who wins. Hopefully, one of you
See the
two will be the winner.
competition and- yeah.
See the competition, and
Yep.
that's going to start here. I believe we're going to be doing some type of fan voting here coming up. So be on the lookout for that.
Yep.
Where you, the listener, will be able to go look at every single $10,000 challenger and
Yep.
vote. I don't think it's for the winner, but vote to like maybe
think
get the
there's
top
some
10
special-
or
yeah.
something in there. So fan voting. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
We got a great motivational speaker joining us next Sunday. It's Thanksgiving. Hopefully you don't overindulge. We'll see you back here next Sunday on 93.7 The Ticket, the Fitness Fanatics.